Okay, so this is author Ashley Nemer with Critical Thinking Podcast, thinking shit through. Oh, damn it, I forgot. What the hell was the line? Okay.
Hey, don't worry about it, Ashley.
We'll edit that.
Yeah.
We'll edit that, right?
Oh, he might use it against you. Hey, don't worry. I'm a host on this show for over a year, and I still can't say the damn tagline right.
This is author Ashley Nemer with Critical Podcast. Damn it! Oh, my God.
Here we go.
One more. Take three. This is a take 3 day. This is author Ashley Nemer with Critical Thinking Podcast, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.
Yes.
I write my best stuff after I fight. And so, like, if we're going, like, a couple months with no fight, like, I'm not writing. Because there's nothing.
It's like,
there's nothing going on.
She walks
and
up to
it can't be a fight about my kids. It has to be, like...
He walks up to her husband. You're stupid looking.
That one was really interesting because there was a bit of a romance. So you're like, how does a human and a mermaid have sex? And it's still a little weird of a scene, but it's weird.
Like mermaid, where?
Hey, we've had this conversation already before. You don't go face the blowhole.
You might. You never know. I guess they got to read the scene.
Oh, God. Hey. I'm the lowest lane in critical... Wait a minute.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, along with my co-host,
Rick the Rizzo, and our other co-host,
Sean.
And the other Mexican in the room, Miguel G.
And this is a critical look at all things gaming, movies, collectibles, and so much more.
What's happening, my brother Rick? This your boy Mig1. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
How's
a little
your
tired.
Oh, yeah? How was your weekend?
Still doing Ubering. It was about 4:30 in the morning when I got home, but...
Shit. Is that a code for sex?
I wish it was.
Damn, you've been Ubering all night? Damn you sexual demon, you. That's freaking awesome.
And you, I know you went to go see Happy Time Murders?
Yeah, I had an accident. Okay, man, let me tell you something about that Happy Time Murders movie. It's messed up. They use a bunch of little things from different movies. It has a lot of crude humor in it, but it was fun. It was enjoyable. I would definitely give it only a 6, though, but you could enjoy it if you went to a matinee. Myself and the people next to me, and my wife and Braden was there too, by the way. So just people with this, the theater was practically empty. I bought the tickets for the show like right before the show, and it was empty. But the people that were in there, we were laughing our ass off. They did the whole Sharon Stone thing too.
Figured.
But unlike the Sharon Stone, they actually even showed you the lips. Exactly, in the hair. And of course, that was the carpet doesn't match the drapes thing. It was like, oh my God. But it was enjoyable. We actually enjoyed the movie. It was a great time, believe it or not.
Cool.
Other than that, I didn't do much else.
And that's it's going to be kind of quick, so we're going to jump into our interview. Who are we interviewing today?
Oh, we're interviewing a young lady who I met a while back on social media. Her name is Ashley Nemer. She's an author. She's pretty cool. She's very nice, laid back. She's been in Comicpalooza, I think is what she said before. But no, she's pretty cool. And I've gotten a copy of her book already, and the one she's got coming out now, and The Ones Who Lived. And it's actually very interesting. I ain't gonna lie to you. It got me hooked.
Cool.
And I can't wait. And again, if my financial situation was better, I'm probably going to wind up buying a lot of her books. Cause, I mean, for me, I read books, but only certain ways. You know, they gotta be a certain genre to hook me into it.
Yeah. But
this book got me. Now, granted, it's a teen book.
Well, this is coming from the guy who, likes Twilight.
Shut up, Rick. But no, she's got some other dark books, some vampire books, and some other stuff out there too. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm very intrigued. I love vampire books. Again. Shut up, Rick.
All right. Well, here's the interview.
Feel you in everything I do. I can't get away. Acting like somebody else's view, but it's not the same. You can't be replaced. So don't be too surprised if I text you at night, 'cause you're out of my heart but not out of my sight. So can we let go of our past just one time?
Ashley Nemer, author, writer, entrepreneur. What else? Am I missing anything, Ashley?
Wife, mother, writer.
Man.
Yeah, you name it.
I always thought the title of wife and mother was always more than enough to keep anybody busy. I see what my wife does at home, and I'm just astounded that she's able to be an assistant principal and everything else.
It is enough to keep any woman busy.
So we want to talk about you. We want people to know who you are. So give us a little spiel about yourself.
Okay, well, I started writing professionally in 2011. I was first published in 2012 by a small press up in Canada. And since then, I have ventured out on my own. My current release is, I think, my 22nd title to put out. I used to put a lot more out, but then I adopted 2 kids and my writing took a big plummet of my time. But I've been doing this about 7 years and I'm really loving it.
That's pretty cool. Nice that you started in 2011. And that was one of my questions I was going to ask you, how long you've been writing. And then, of course, you came back and told us how many books you wrote. So that was my other question. Way to steal my thunder.
My bad. I haven't done a podcast in years.
I'm just messing with you. It's all good. But you were published in Canada, eh?
Yeah, a publishing company, a small press in Canada, picked up my first 2 stories. And, they since lost, went under. And so I bought my rights back and I do it myself now.
That's
and then
cool,
I had one book with a small press that also ended up going under after a few years I was with them. But, I'm indie, so that's how I go.
Well, that's pretty cool. The fact, that had to be an awesome feeling, number one, to be published. That right there.
It was amazing. It was really amazing. And I actually found out that they accepted my novel when we were at the end of my brother's wedding doing all the pictures. I was like, oh my God. And I feel kind of bad looking back, but I was really excited then.
Yeah. So you were kind of in shock and awe at that point. You were just like, I can't believe this.
Yeah. Cause my first story, Blood Purple, it started because I had been laid off and I was kind of depressed and I wanted to read a book about vampires in the Middle East. And I couldn't find a book about vampires in the Middle East. And so my great aunt and I, we had been researching our family history from Lebanon. And so I kind of just put the 2 together and I made a book about vampires from the Middle East and it all started from there.
Nice. And it just blew up from there.
Yeah. It can still blow up more. It's cool.
That's really cool. That's really amazing. So of all your 22 books that you've written so far, which one has been the most successful?
The Blood series is by far the most successful as in terms of downloads, sales, and all of that because, I can sell to both men and women because it's not a paranormal romance. It's more of a paranormal science fiction because I have everything that men like and everything that women like and not too much of any. So as far as that, number wise, it'd be the Blood series. But what I'm most proud of is probably my Maverick series. It's about a quirky news reporter and an assassin just because I really like it. I feel like I get the most comments from readers about that book series. But I also really like what I'm doing now. This new one was a real challenge for me because I've never written young adult before. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really kind of proud of it. I don't know how it's going to do yet because it's not out, but I'm really proud of that just because it really forced me to grow as a person and an author and as an artist.
Well, that's pretty cool. Again, you took another one of my questions and just...
My bad.
No, it's okay. That's fine. More of you, less of us is great. We like that. People want to hear you, not us. They hear us enough as it is. And they probably tell me to shut up half the damn time. But anyway, no, you answered. I wanted to know which one was your favorite one. Obviously, you said the Maverick series is one. And is that's also the most sentimental to you, or is the new one more sentimental since it's a new genre that you're hitting?
That is really a hard question because the Blood series... I took my family's history and their course from Lebanon to America and I intertwined it and I took characters in that and I based it off of characters in my family. I took a lot of liberties, because I don't have anyone who's evil like some of these characters are. But, I took a lot of the lessons that my dad taught my brothers and I used that in what we grew up with, and I used that in the story, and I used my brother and I's dynamic and relationship and the king and the princess. So, I don't know, I get really teary when I talk about the Blood series, so I kind of feel like that's probably the most sentimental. But at the same time, when your little girl goes, I want you to write a book for me, for young adults, then that kind of just tears your heart, right? So, I don't know. it's kind of a hard question to answer.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome that you switched that for your children. That's amazing.
Yeah, and what's really neat about this one is my husband and I, we weren't able to have, children of our own. And so we didn't change our kids' names, their first names. But so I took the names that we were going to name if we were going to have kids, and I made those the main characters. So, that's kind of sentimental and awe moment for girls, at least.
Kind of has your children live on.
Yeah, in some ways.
That's cool. That's something we didn't know, and probably our listeners didn't know. So your children are adopted. Yeah. That's amazing. I'll share a little story for you myself. I have 4 kids. None of them are mine. They're not adopted, but 2 are from my previous marriage and 2 are from this marriage now. But I'm dad to all 4 of them, and we all have
awesome.
We have a unique bond, and so I understand that a mother and a father don't necessarily have to be blood. So I applaud you for adopting 2 kids and raising them.
They're my babies.
Of course, and they always will be, and that's cool. And you answered another question of mine when I was going to ask you about the character names in the book, where they came from, but thanks.
I told you I was psychic. I got this down.
So let me dive deep into your past real quick here. So How did you actually begin writing? What set it off?
Well, technically I've been writing longer than that because I had a couple poems published when I was in college. So I've been writing poetry for a while. And then I was in debate in high school. So I did lots of writing in high school, but it wasn't so much, fiction stories. But writing's an outlet for me. It's always been, whether it's been journaling or blogging or making stories or poetry, it's always been a part of me in some way.
Gotcha. Poetry, huh?
Yeah, I have a poetry book out. There's 60 poems. My writing partner and I, we put it out there, and it's our slowest moving one because not a lot of people are into poetry. But those who like poetry like the book. So that's what matters.
Is the poetry more like, is it dark? There you go. I want to go. Is it dark? Is it not dark enough?
We intended it to be more dark, but Stacy makes fun of me. She says, Ashley's is light and mine is dark. I think mine's a little dark too, but so I don't know. It's a little both.
That's awesome.
It's a little of both. But what I was going to say though, with our poetry, not that it's like a huge deal because it's poetry, but Stacey and I did make like a number 3 on Amazon. It's like a solid 3 months on poetry. So we're technically like Amazon bestsellers, but it's on poetry, so it's not really that big of a deal.
No, that's cool. Please, by all means, never sell yourself short. That's an accomplishment, whether it's, that's pretty cool. Hell, Rick and I, we would love to be like number 1 on some kind of list somewhere for podcasters. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Rick's kind of ugly. But not just joking.
Aren't these voice for radios though?
We're definitely radio guys, both of us. Even though I claim to be the good looking one.
Yeah, the one that always admits it is.
I don't know which one's which, and on your website, I don't know, so I can't give an opinion.
We have our names underneath our faces.
I choose not to look at that.
No problem. That's pretty cool. What authors actually do you like to read? And if so, were any books that you did read have any influence on what you're writing now?
So absolutely. I love, obviously like Stephen King, that's a pretty no-brainer. And I loved his book, Stand, and it takes place in Colorado Springs. Mm-hmm. And so as such, my Blood series is a lot of Colorado Springs. So it's I love Stephen King. I'm not much of a fan of his endings, but I love his stuff.
I was just about to say that. It's a great book. It usually is amazing. And then it gets to the endings and he gets tired.
Chapters.
And he gets tired.
Yeah. Well, he writes 1,000 words a page. So, I get tired too. But, and he says it takes about 10 years to really launch your career. So I feel like I have another 3 more and then I'm I can quit my day job.
Then I can say we had her on the show. That's right.
But, authors that really affected me would be Tammy Hogue, my number 1. She started out in cheesy romance and now is more suspenseful. My best friend and I in high school, she gave me Ashes to Ashes to read. I was sophomore or junior year. I'd have to look and see what year the book came out. And that was it. That was done. And I have followed this woman. I read everything that she's written, and I got to meet her 2 years ago, and I was damn near the best experience of my life. She is truly amazing. I got my daughter reading her romance, and I sent her, this is a really neat story. This is why authors rock. Mm-hmm. And so I sent her a message on Facebook, and I said, I'd really like to surprise my daughter with an autographed book of yours. could I mail you one for you to sign? She's like, absolutely, send it over. So I hunted down, like, I tried to find some of her romances, but they're all out of print now. So I found like a crossover mystery romance, and I mailed it to Tammy Hogue, and she mailed it back, and I didn't wrap it or anything. I just put it in a little envelope from Tammy Hogue and put it under the tree, and like, she lost her shit. It was great.
That's awesome.
So like I sent, Tammy pictures of her unwrapping it and all that. And I mean, it was a great moment because, she may never get to meet her, but now she has like, a signed book. So it's Tammy Hogue, absolutely. And then Catherine Coulter, her character is just like, they're the best. They are the best FBI suspense. And I follow her to like no end. And I actually wrote her before Blood Purple came out and asked if she would read it. And her response was like, you cuss too much, but good luck. But at least she was honest. She didn't like the cussing, but that's okay. It's not for everybody. But she still read it, and that meant a lot to me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So those two, like, by far are my author heroes.
Pretty cool.
Cool.
Considering, I don't know how much you read, Rick. I mean, I read a lot of Stephen King, back in the day, but then I got hooked on Dean Koontz. I felt, the endings were usually a little bit better.
Just a little.
And then sometimes.
Did you read The City?
No, I haven't read that one.
Man, I was so disappointed. Like, I loved Dean Koontz all through college and my early 20s, and I picked that book up when it came out. I was just like, I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I guess it happens. It's just like, what's going on, guys?
I don't know if my taste changed or if he changed his writing style. I don't know, but I left that book feeling sad.
When you're writing your books and everything, I know you have your story in your head, but do you ever get like writer's block in the middle of it?
Never in the middle, only in the beginning. Like when I know like I need to sit down and write, I only get writer's block when I'm like sitting down to write. But once I'm in it, I'm in it. And I don't plan. So everything has to come to me as I'm writing. Like I may plan names and I may plan locations. And that's an if. I'm a real pantser, and I just like whatever comes to me comes. And my characters rule it. And so I get writer's block before I sit down. But once I'm down, like I'm in zone, my characters are in my head, they're talking to me, or I'm not even at the computer.
So that answers that kind of leads me into the next question because Rick stole it from me. I was going to ask you what was your process of writing, but so it doesn't matter. You get in that zone because my other question was going to be how many hours a day or how many days a week do you spend on writing? It's like if you get that feeling, you're in front of it and you start going and you don't stop till it leaves you, then I'm assuming. So you could wind up spending the whole day at the typewriter or at the computer?
Yeah, I could. Do you guys know what Nano is?
No, not aware of it.
So in the month of November is this challenge to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And I mean, it's a challenge, but my Maverick series, they're all nano books. I wrote them all during the month of November. And maybe that's another why it's sentimental because it's a real challenge. But so during those times, as my husband knows, it's November, Ashley's going to spend an exorbitant amount of time writing this month. But I can sit down at like 6 a.m. on a Saturday and by 10:30, 11 have 10,000 words.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, it just like pours, it like gushes. But I have to be in that zone because otherwise my husband, he's great. He's like, go write or whatever. I'm like, I can't write. Like, I don't have anything in my head right now. I can't just go turn it on, so when it's on, it's on. Like right before this, I wrote about 1,200 words because I was talking with my editor. We're going to add a whole new chapter in between 2 and 3. And so I wrote 1,200 words for that chapter in the hour before you called me.
Wow. Huh. You know what used to drive this is funny that you say stuff like this. It used to drive my ex-wife crazy. I went to college, obviously, to get my degree but I would always have the tendency, and I always tell my kids not to be this way, but I always write my papers to the last moment. Oh. And so I'd get up in the morning, shower dark, because I'm so used to I'm an early bird. Get up at 4 a.m, shower, come down, sit down, turn the laptop on, boom, and go at it, and finish it before I'd have to leave for school every single time. And here I'm whipping out like 5 or 6 pages worth of stuff about the subject that I had to write on. It was just insane. It used to drive my ex-wife crazy. I don't know. It's my time. It's when I feel it. That's when it comes to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure. I have no idea. And I never got anything bad on him. I always scored well. I mean, very well. So it's kind of.
It has to be the pressure then. I mean, people thrive under pressure.
I can't do that now.
What's funny, this is weird. I don't know if this is one of your next questions, so I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
But I write my best after a fight with my husband. Like, I write my best stuff after I fight. And so, like, if we're going, like, a couple months with no fight, like, I'm not writing. Because there's nothing.
It's like,
there's nothing going on.
She walks
and
up to
it
him.
can't be a fight about my kids. It has to be, like...
He walks up to her husband. You're stupid looking.
I mean, it's
Do you ever pick any fights deliberately for that?
Sometimes I have.
Wow. Hey, for the arts, I understand.
Now I can understand why the cuss words come into play in your books.
That dirty son of a bitch. Hey, how did I wind up in your book? Hey, that's another question for her. Has your husband, his name, or ever made an appearance in any of your books?
So he wanted to be in the Maverick series, and I never know who I'm going to kill off because I don't know. I'm not planning anything. So I named the cat Tony the Tiger for my husband because you're not going to kill a cat. The cat's for sure going to live. He did not find that amusing.
I know. I tell you right now, honestly, Rick and myself, we'd love to be in a book, and we don't mind getting killed off or being an aardvark or who cares, whatever. As long as we're in the book. In this book, the two bad guys that I've named so far, Lakin and Collins. So Lakin is the first name, and they're both guys, and both the people whose names they are women, so I don't know. But Lakin was the very first person to ever contact me about reading Blood Purple, and so she's been a fan since 2012, and she's been a loyal fan. So I told her, like, a couple of years ago I was going to name a book after her, and I saw it, or name a book character in a book after her. And I saw it in my Facebook memories. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do that. I was like, Lakin, you're going to be the bad guy. She's like, okay, whatever. And then, this older lady, I mean, she's, I don't know how old she is, but we're just like Facebook friends. And she's one of my fans, and her last name is Collins. And I saw, like this year that she lost her spouse and she's going through some things, but she's always like a really supportive, like, yay, go Ashley type person. It's like, I'm going to name a character after you. I don't know if it's going to be first name or last name yet, but it ended up being her last name, and it ended up being a guy. It's a father-son duo as the bad guys. Wow.
So.
See, that's cool. And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll say something real quick and let you go back.
Go ahead.
That's what we like here. The fact that you interact with your fans, you interact with your friends and fans who become friends and whatnot, and you put them in your books and you don't forget about them, and that's great. I mean, we here at Critical Thinking try to make sure we always mention our people, our peeps out there who have our backs, and even new people to join on. They're like, oh my God, you guys are really funny and this is amazing. We always try to remember those people. We try to help out as many people as we can. So we're glad to have you on the show.
So I have another friend. She's in England. Her name is Mez, and she's like, you need to make me into a character in her, like, British accent or whatever. So the book I released last year that I all of a sudden can't remember. She's the main character. Merwin is the main character. And then one of my best friends from college, she's like, write me a book with Zeus and a mermaid and name the character Zara. So that's Under the Moonlight. And so I take feedback from everywhere.
That's wow. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. I think there'd be a lot of pressure just to write a book. Hey, write this book about a dog and a cat and then some other dude, and it's like, okay, or a mermaid and, like you said, a god. I'm like, I'd be so freaked out. I wouldn't even know what to write. I'd be staring at the screen like,
That one was really interesting because there was a bit of a romance. So you're like, how does a human and a mermaid have sex? And that took a lot of work to figure that. And it's still a little weird of a scene, but it's weird.
It was like mermaid. Where?
Hey, we've had this conversation already before. You don't go face the blowhole.
Well, you might. You never know. I guess I got to read the scene.
Oh, God.
Okay, here's another funny story with regards to that one. So my kid's caseworker, when we adopted them, she was actually a fan, and I didn't know her by her real name. I knew her by her blogger name. And so once we realized who each other were, she's like, now, what was up with that scene in Under the Moonlight? I was just like, I don't know. It was rough.
When it comes to after you finish writing your books and everything, is there a lot of editing or is it just straight?
Oh, no, God, I need editors. English was my worst subject in school because grammar and Ashley have a hard time mixing. So I pay people. Stacey and I found this new tool that we're using that we think will take us to like the next level, but I do lots of editing. Now, I don't really have to change content. This is the first time I've had a book where I've had to go and add content just because I've never done young adult or dystopian. So, I mean, I sent it out to readers and I said, hey, give me your feedback. What do you feel is missing? So I'm having to, change it. But usually I pay an editor and they fix the grammar and we go from there.
That's pretty amazing. Again, grammar is an issue for me. Obviously, talking is an issue for me. Because I say things that are in my head. I don't have a
filter.
Exactly. I don't have that little voice that tells you not to say that. So I'm pretty straightforward about stuff. But you know what? Tell us a little bit more about this book right now that you have going on. The Ones Who Lived. Now, I started reading it. But as I started going, I didn't want to go too far into it because I didn't want to release anything or say anything here in the show by mistake, or as you saw, I already released your previous name, and even though we cut that from the record, I didn't want to do that, so I kind of stopped myself. But when I'm done with you here, I'm going to go finish it.
What did you think of what you read so far?
Here's my basic quick thing on it. It is easy to read. It's that's the first thing I wanted to say, that it was so easy for me to go into and just flow and go. And here's something for you. I read books, yes, and I like to have the hardback in my hand because it's easier for me to read off of that than it is off of a computer screen or a phone screen. Cause my eyes are getting bad as I'm getting up in age. But I couldn't put my phone down. It intrigued me, and I like the story, and I like the interaction between the brother and the sister. And then, the friend. And it's funny because you tapped in some stuff. Yeah, Sam. You tapped in some stuff in there, and how Sam and Amelia, it's like, the high school stuff is like, oh my God, that is so real. Because I remember that happened to me once. I touched hands with my partner and she was hot and we kind of looked at each other. So it's funny how you pulled out real life stuff, and of course in the scenes with the family.
But that's what I do. That is what, I may not be the greatest at finding damn commas. I may not be the greatest at that, but I am really good at writing relationships. And I have to sometimes be careful how I pitch my spiels, because most of my books, 90% of them have a brother, sister, main character, because they say you write what you know. And my brother and I were the most important people to each other growing up because my parents were divorced. So it was us, whether we were at our moms or our dads, it was us. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I know. So that's what I write. And that little touching thing came from my best friend flirting with my brother. That was me being jealous, but that's where that scene came from.
Nice.
But we weren't twins. We were 3 years apart, and I was really pissed about the whole thing. So I take stuff like that into it. But no, Anthony and Amelia are the twins, and this story actually started, we were in Florida at my cousin's high school graduation, and my husband and I were just spitballing ideas. And he wanted to have a story where all the adults died because they had sex and they weren't virgins. So it's I am not writing a young adult story about that. That's stupid. And he's like, we had a huge fight over it. I was like, no, that's not what I'm doing. And so I can't give away the reason why all the adults are dead, because that'll be book 2. But it has something to do with our DNA, something that's in it from inoculations. So they all wake up one day and everybody's gone. And all that's left are people who are 17 and under, and a handful of adults.
I'm assuming you don't try to read as many other books when you're getting ready to write yours because you don't want to steal somebody else's idea or accidentally plagiarize it or whatnot. You try to avoid any of that kind of stuff. And the reason I bring this up is...
No, that's not me.
The reason I bring this up is I read a lot of comics. I understand.
Yeah.
I read a lot of comics, and there's a book kind of similar to this, but not. The parents are dead. There's only kids left. No, some parents are alive. Some adults are alive. But there's a bunch of kids in a shelter, but it's totally different. It's totally different. It's like an apocalyptic type world thing where an explosion or something else is going to happen, and then the kids go crazy and they start killing the adults that are still alive. So it's totally way off. But
totally different, but similar. But
it started wait a minute, is this what whoa, this is kind of okay. But then I was reading, it's no, it's not. But no, your book definitely draws you in. Like I said, the easy to read, the actual life type environment stuff that actually occurs. Like you said, the hand thing, the intensity of actually I was feeling the anxiety attack that they were having. And some of the other emotions they were having as I was reading, which is impressive. Because if you capture someone like that with me who has anxiety and everything else. So it appealed to me. So I understand exactly what they were going through. I was oh my God, I started thinking to myself, what the hell would I do if this ever happened? And
one of the feedback I got from one of my readers, she's like, they kind of have their shit too well together. You need to kind of make them freak out or something. So I'm going back and I'm adding, and this will be really touching. I'm adding a note from from beyond the grave from their dad to help them get to where they're at in chapter 3. But So, I mean, I really like those relationships, and not that I have a low vocabulary, but I don't like using super big words, because when I was struggling reading, it turned me away. So I try to use dialogue and verbiage that the everyday person should be able to handle. I don't try to go above and beyond, or, use the SAT words or the 50-cent words, because that'll throw people, and then they'll have to stop, they'll have to look it up, they'll have to do all these different things, and takes them out of the moment. So I try to not gear towards the lowest common, but the average. That way the average person can handle it.
That's good thinking. And again, like I said, reading, I'm not a hardcore reader, like some people are, like my kids used to be, my daughter and whatnot and everything else. But the way you said it right there, the easier words, simple, it doesn't have to be super simple. And we're not all retards,
yeah.
but, but the way you use them and how you say them, and you capture somebody, you bring them in, that's how you get somebody hooked. And that's how you get somebody who doesn't put a book down. And that's how myself, who is not a hardcore reader, will pick up a book and read 1,000-1,500 page book in a couple of days, because you just can't set it down. I remember reading a book by Michael Crichton a while back. It was about a murder, serial killer, whatever, dude, woman mixed up thing. It was a trip, and I could not put the book down. I read it in under 2 days. It was ridiculous. I bought it just because I liked the cover. Yeah, I'm weird like that. And I wound up reading the whole thing almost in one day.
Michael Crichton's a god, though. He's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I'm like I said, I read a lot of Stephen King. I also read Joe Hill, his son. Have you read anything from Joe?
I read one of his.
Well, he also does a lot of comics, so I'll pick up a lot of his comic stuff. But yeah, no, like I said, this book is very intriguing. I'm definitely, like I said, it's one of those I want to keep on reading. I just don't, I started reading a while back, and I started reading it again this morning just so I could remember stuff, because I've had so much crap going on in my life the last couple of months, but we'll stay away from it. It's been really bad, for everybody here in this podcast. Between myself, Sean, and Rick, it's been really rough, between deaths and a bunch of other stuff.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, It's just been rough. So I had to reread to try to get myself refamiliar with everything that I read. And I can tell you, from the first time I read it to the second time this morning, yeah, it's still very captivating, and it does stand on its own. And I definitely want to purchase this. And again, you said you could buy it on your e-reader, your book, whatever.
Yeah.
Is it going to be hardback as well?
I don't make hardbacks. I do make like the 6x9, the paperbacks, but they'll be at Barnes and Nobles or Amazon.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, I mean hardback.
Yeah. I always wanted to do the hardback, but as an indie, it's just the cost benefit analysis of it. You'd have to price it at like $40 to really turn a good profit, and that's ridiculous to me. So I stick with the 6x9, but it is going to be out. I'm hoping, I was supposed to be already finished, but now we're having to do all these edits. So I'm hoping to be in a week, be done with editing and, ship it off and start the format. But it will be ebook on the midnight on the 18th and paperback midnight on the 18th. But I love that you got the relationships and how I love that. That's the best. You should really read the Blood series. Like, they have some excellent hardcore crazy relationships that really relate to people.
And that was going to be my thing to you now. For you to be able to capture somebody like myself, to want to read a book again, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's an accomplishment. I mean, I think it is, but it really is, because I'm not one of those like, I don't feel like reading this crap today. And oh my God, this is really good. And it's a football game on. No, I want to read this book. So it's one of those type of things.
Especially taking them away from football.
I know, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So obviously, my other question was going to be, most important to you, characters or plot?
Mm-hmm.
Character development or plot? What's more important to you? Obviously, I kind of feel...
I would have to say the character development, because I don't know what the plot is. The characters make the plots. And I can give you an example of a struggle in the Blood series. I kill off a character, and I had these beta readers that are reading chapter by chapter by chapter, like, it's really time for this character to go. I'm like, no, I don't think you're right. And they're like, yes. And so I killed him off. I was like, I didn't like it. I scrapped it, deleted it. I damn near killed him off 2 chapters later. And I was like, and the character's like, yes, it's time for me to go. And so I don't know the plot, so I'd have to say character development.
Cool.
And I have to look at somebody and take something of that person and put it into it. So each story has something of somebody. Because that way I can focus. I can draw from that person's personality, whether the good guy or the bad guy. I can either superinflate it or underinflate it, but I have to pull from something real.
All right, cool. Just quick, kind of curious here now, being that these are a series of books and everything. What if a network reads one of these, someone reads it from a network and decides to make it a TV series? Would you be willing to write for more on it?
Damn you, Rick. You just stole my other question. Jesus, stop reading my notes.
I think it would have to depend on the TV series. I mean, obviously, I'd be like, yeah, sure, hell yeah. But I think it had to depend on the series because I hate what HBO did to True Blood. So I don't know that I would give my stuff to Alan Ball. But I mean, if Hallmark called me up and like, hey, we like this cheesy romance, the Kima Sunrise series. That's what that book was. Oh my God. Honeysuckle Love. That's what it was. So that one I originally wrote because I wanted to submit it to Harlequin and the whole Hallmark series type stuff. And I ended up keeping it and not submitting it. But if they call me up and like, we love this, I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. Cause I mean, all that's doing is benefit me.
I'm thinking, honestly, some of these, I mean, I could see a book like that. I haven't read that book yet, obviously, but you're saying, I'm thinking about the book right now that I'm reading, The Ones Who Lived. You could probably definitely shoot that off to like a Lifetime or to a Hallmark or an Oprah channel or something like that. That'd be pretty interesting. And I imagine that'd probably drive you over. I'd be all
for it.
That would probably drive you over the moon. You'd probably go over the moon if that ever happened. You're like, holy crap.
Oh my God, I would. Oh, with my husband and I joked that the first real money that we make, we're going to go buy land and make our own little compound and prepare for the apocalypse. So it'd be great if it was the apocalypse book that prepared for that.
That would be awesome.
Would toning down the cussing be hard for you?
I mean, it's been really good in the young adult book. I mean, I've been really proud of myself. I don't think I have to go do a word find search, but I don't think I'm at any cussing. Maybe one. Maybe.
So how long is the book, The Ones Who Lived? How many pages are we looking at right now?
Well, I don't know the page totals though, because it's like 125, 8x10. So It's not formatted. So it'll be at least 160, I think, and 6x9. It depends on your dialogue. So the amount of dialogue you have drastically changes the word count compared to just like descriptive paragraphs.
Right.
So I won't know till the end on what it is. And I'm adding a whole nother chapter now. So I don't know if I'm going to add 2 chapters, but I'm for sure adding another. I mean, that's another 3,000 to 3,500 words that I'm going to add. So I don't know. And each page is about 250.
And this is book 1 of the series, correct?
Right. And I don't know if it's going to be a 2-book or a 3-book series. It'll kind of just see how much my characters want to do in book 2.
I can tell you right now, just basically on what I've read so far, I can't wait to finish it. This would be a series that, you could probably write for a couple of books. I mean, you could really go with someplace with this, depending on what I read. It's like it's limitless. You really could go so many different directions.
Well, what I'm going to have to decide is if I want book 2 to be where they defeat the bad guys, and then book 3 is life after, the bad guys are gone, which is what I kind of think I want to do. Or if it's going to take 3 books to defeat the bad guys, which I think is usually kind of more normal. So I got to figure out where I want, because I want to make sure it's not compared to the Hunger Game type series where, we're 75 years into the dystopian. Right. This is the Point Break. It happens while you're awake. And I don't really know of a lot of novels that start like that. So I kind of got to figure out where my characters want to go. I think it'd be cool to defeat the bad guys and have a book about, life afterwards. That's where I kind of hope it goes.
That'd be pretty cool. I could see the book going 3 books, like that, and then they defeat the bad guy, and then book 4 would be like, oh, there was somebody else pulling the strings. And there you go.
I would love some crazy thing like that. I'd be down for that.
And then you could write, that book would be like they find out who it is, they take them on, they manage to win. Then your next book could be after that, and then your book 7 could be like a prequel. to exactly how how no one knew the effects of what they did as a kid would have that major effect now in the future. I'm just saying, bro. See, I could be a guide. I can help you out with this. I got ideas.
I haven't decided yet if I'm going to have Bill Clinton or Bush 2 play the big role in all of this, but one of them is going to play a big role in book 2 and their decisions. I haven't decided which.
See, then we throw in some Sharknadoes and we're good.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. Sharknadoes.
I'm telling you. What's interesting is we're really happy to have you on the show and obviously talking about the book, and we love your energy and everything else. And like I said, the writing is amazing. And I can only imagine what your other books are like. you've got another fan here, and I will definitely, as soon as my money situation works up a little bit, I'm definitely going to start buying these books.
I will send you the revised version when it's done.
That's cool. But yeah, but again, us not wanting to be like the guys asking for handouts or anything like that, we want to help support people. And yeah, you'll probably see me purchasing your books here as we go, and you'll see me posting them on Twitter and whatnot as soon as I buy one and whatnot. And I'll give you honest reviews. Like, this book sucked. I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, why the hell did you kill him off? What the hell was that for? I'll be the one arguing.
I've gotten messages in the middle of the night from that. I mean, and then people like who have my phone number, like will call me at like 2 a.m. And I was like, it's 2 a.m. and you're calling me for this? Like, why the hell did you do this? I was like, oh my God, I'm hanging up on you now. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Nice. Don't make me misery you. You're gonna write this over. Put some boards in. Crack.
God, I love that movie.
See, now that's okay. That's okay. Now you do book signings, right? You do go out to places.
I do book signings.
That's amazing. Have you gotten that creep vibe yet from any fan yet?
I mean, yes, and it's someone I know from high school, so I don't really want to tell the story, but yes.
It's okay. Don't worry. You haven't met the ultimate creeper yet. Rick's coming down.
He's pointing at himself.
I'm pointing at myself. No, this is amazing. Rick, I know you want to ask some more questions. I don't mean to steal your thunder there, bro.
No, I didn't have any. You kind of caught some of the ones that I had.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm prepared, man. I'm a journalist. I'm the lowest lane in critical. Wait a minute. That's so cool. So you can tell us where they can find all your books right now. Where can they go to get them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Sony, Kobo. My website has links. I mean, anywhere that there's ebooks, and then with print books, you can request at any bookstore because I'm not in a physical. I used to be in a comic book store, but they don't have my books anymore. They stopped selling them. I guess I don't know. They haven't asked for more. But I was in the Bedrock City on 1960 for years. But then they switched managers. But that was pretty cool. That was my first bookstore.
Sorry, I don't like those people anyway, and I'll say it loud and proud on this show because they used to be my sponsors when I was somewhere else, and they did us wrong. So, yeah. But we're located with Uncanny Comics, so if you like, I'll pitch it to him.
Wonderful. Absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, anywhere you order books, physical books, you can order mine and Amazon, 2-day shipping, whatever they do. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because they're my supplier.
What's your website?
AshleyNemer.com. That's Nemer. And fun fact, my name actually means tiger in Arabic.
Interesting.
Nice.
I didn't know
so
that.
now you know an Arabic word.
That last name, Nemer, huh? What is Garza in Arabic?
I don't know. I speak very limited words.
Shame.
Yeah, which was hard because I'm writing a book. I had the Lebanese vampires, so I had a friend I grew up with. I had her dad, who was from Lebanon, do some actual script writing for me, and I had them help me with like the dialect. That was kind of cool.
Another question in regards to your books. Are there any artwork other than like I see like at the beginning of the chapter, you have the little tree thing or whatever. Is there any other artwork, any pictures, anything? Or is it just pretty much words straight up?
It's just words straight up. And that artwork you see is from, a program I use. So.
Okay. It's pretty cool. Actually, with this one here,
it's not like comics. You don't get the little figures to go with it. I'm a horrible drawer, so that would be ridiculous.
Hey, I got the best stick figure in the game. So if you ever need anybody, no, I understand it. No, and I'm not going toward a comic way. I was just wondering, like, if you had like a shaded picture or something, or like they show us the picture of the closet with the people in it or whatnot, or I just thought something like that'd be kind of interesting. But no,
it would be really cool. I wish I could sketch. I would totally do that if I could sketch.
No, and again, I know artists, really cheap artists here in Houston. But I know, but the little thing how you have at the beginning of the book, even though it looks, I forgot what it was. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It kind of gave you that creepy vibe feel a little bit when I was going through. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. It kind of added to the experience for me.
I use this program where you can select themes. And so I think I picked some kind of like mysterious theme when I made the PDF. Yeah.
Like it looks like a tree. Right.
Yeah.
And then you got your words, going to the very beginning. I'm just going to use again, I don't want to give anything away further down on the book.
No, you're fine.
Prequel, The Day Before Death. Check that tree out. Does that just creep you out? And then you go on through and you're reading and then you get down to the little bit, there's a freaking raven sitting on it. It's like, oh my God.
Isn't that awesome?
And then you get to the next one and chapter 1 and so it begins. And you're like, it's just waiting for like the music behind you. Dun, dun, dun.
I know. I think it'd be awesome if books could have music in the background and they could go with the theme. I think that'd be awesome. I should be like,
You're doing all this stuff here. You're doing all this stuff. You have your books everywhere, like this ebooks, selling books, hard paperbacks and whatnot. Audio. Have you made it?
So I have 2 audiobooks. I have Blood Purple and Maverick Touch the Cat out in audiobooks. Blood Yellow's in process, and I don't know what happened to the artist who was doing it. She hasn't finished. We have 1 chapter left. But yeah, I mean, those are a little harder. Those are way more costly to do. And so you have to have enough money coming in to make something like that. And I can't really, I don't sell a lot on Audible. So I haven't been able to justify the expense really.
Mm-hmm. So your big sellers are coming from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, that type of stuff?
Actually, my big sellers come from the fans I make at Comic Palooza.
Wow.
And I have a huge fan base out in Pasadena. The library in Pasadena treats me like a queen. They are my favorite people in the world. They have my stuff on display random times of the year. People go to those events and they come to see me because they only bring 3 authors in at each of their events, and I'm always invited. So I have a lot of fans from Pasadena, Texas.
That's cool.
And Comic Palooza. I mean, Comic Palooza is my big push every year because I do the panels and I meet podcasters. I meet other artists. I meet artists
Do you have a booth?
Physical artists. I always have a booth. I always have a booth.
Okay, we didn't know that. If we'd known that, we'd have gone.
I was behind the ugly pink van this year. I hated it. It was the T-Mobile van. It was the worst spot we've ever had. It was awful.
Well, we'll definitely make sure this time around at Comic Palooza we come by and hit you up again and hopefully we'll do a more updated one and caught up with you after this book comes out and see what's going on and bring you back on the show.
Anytime. I would love to anytime.
And I was going to ask you a question again. Oh, yeah. You need to let us know when you come out to Pasadena, and we'll definitely come down there with our recorder and do something with you there at the same time. Hell, by then, we might even have books for you to sign.
Well, October 20th is the next Pasadena their own version of Comic-Con for Pasadena, Texas. And I will be out there then.
And what's it called?
It's like ICHGO-con. I don't know the word, but it's October 20th.
That's fine. As soon as you see it, you can just send me a message. I want to put it out there so I can tweet it out for you. That's cool. Again, your website was www.ashleynemer.com, right? Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're on Facebook, and I'm assuming as an artist as well, or hopefully, or.
Yeah, well, my Facebook, I have my author page, and then I have a friend page, Ashley Nemer.
Okay. You're on Twitter as well, I believe, right? Where people can follow you there?
Yeah, you and I are friends on Twitter.
I know this. What's your Twitter handle so our friend people know?
Ashley Nemer.
There you go.
And I believe it's Ashley Nemer on Instagram as well.
Are you on Snapchat?
I don't give that to people because, you never know what I'm going to post. I keep that for actual close, intimate friends because.
I got you.
I post my kids a lot.
What was that, Rick? You said Tinder? What?
No, not yet.
Husband kills you? Yes, husband dead.
That's the swipe right or swipe left one, right?
Yeah, that's a bad app.
I don't know that one. I've never been on it. I've never had the need to.
That's funny.
We've been together 14 years, so I've missed all of those apps.
Well, congratulations on the 14 years. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
I've been together with my wife, 8 years. I got married in a 0 year, so it makes it perfect. I can remember.
That's easy. You've been so quiet, Rick. I don't get to see
He's kind of out of it right now. This is not the normal Rick.
Yeah, I didn't get home till 4:30 last night.
As we said, the Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real trooper. He came in. He was excited to talk to me, to you. He's just a little bit chilled today. So he left it all to me, and I am the voice. I am the mouth. I
really appreciate this, guys. This was a lot of fun for me. Thank you so very much.
Oh, no problem. Like I said, we will do everything we can to help push you. This will get reviewed by our editor. He will then fix it up, do a little fancy thing. If you have any pictures, send them to me so I can send it to him. Actually, send it to our email, criticalthinking247@gmail.com. Sean will then use the pictures to create a little, if you've noticed how we do our episodes, there's always a little funny picture on it that goes to the Podbean. And so he'll put he put Rick and me in a car doing the Dukes of Hazzard thing. And then had Kevin underneath it from our last, show. But so he'll do stuff like that too. So he'll make it kind of creative and have you out there. And usually we release the episode on Thursday nights. Usually take that back, Thursday morning. Barring if Sean doesn't get, like I said, it's been a rough month for everybody in the studio here. Sean has particularly had some tough times, so he's been trying to get it out as soon as possible, but it should be out Thursday.
Hey, no worries. You just let me know. And
we will, be advertising it a lot and pretty much, tweeting, posting, Facebooking, you name it, it'll be out there. We'll do everything we can. anything down the road, if you have anything you want to send us. If you want to do a free copy giveaway or something like that, or we'll do a giveaway on the show. Anything like that, we're more than willing to help out.
Hey, I'm just really appreciative of the airtime. Thank you guys so very much. And I'm really glad you liked what you've read so far of the book. You'll have to finish it and let me know.
Oh, I will definitely finish. I will definitely let you know. Like I said, it's very intriguing, and I'm hooked. I was hooked in page 2.
Well, great.
So
I'm so glad.
that was.
Thank you.
But again, they always say I'm a girl anyway. So my wife makes fun of me because I laugh and cry at movies. So she's always making.
Those
fun
are the best kind of men. Those are real men.
You heard it here first, Rick. I'm a real man. Well, we wish you the best of success in everything that you do. Again, we look forward to seeing you out and about. Now you've been on the show with us, a friend of the show, obviously. We will be reading your stuff and doing anything we can to help you. Again, glad to have you back on once your book is out, and hopefully everything goes well for you.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh, not a problem. And if there's anything else you want to give out right now, anything else you need to shout outs on anything, go ahead, feel free.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm on the spot now. I don't know, but thank you guys. Thank you so much. I mean, it's released 9/18/18. The world ends. So.
And we'll be there. I'm going to be one of them that survived, damn it. Thank you, Ashley. We appreciate you having on the show.
You guys have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
You gotta let it go, let it go. You gotta let it go, let it go, let it go. I wish you'd see. You gotta save yourself.
So what'd you think, Rick? Was she everything I thought she was?
Probably a lot more. She's a very easygoing person. Easy. I mean, she loves to talk and everything easy.
And you know what? Some authors come across being very nose in the air and that's something, but you hit it on that. She's very laid back, very nice to meet. I bet you she's freaking hard in person. And I like the fact that she didn't talk down to us or talk like we're ignorant or like we're pieces of crap, which is podcasters.
Yeah. She was happy to be on.
All I know is it was like, thank you so much. And to talk about her book and talk about her stuff from the past and everything else. And I'm like, yeah, wow, keep going. I'm excited for her. I really do hope that she hits it big time. I mean, I know we say that about everybody that comes on our show, but damn it, man, we've met some great people on this show.
Oh, yeah. We met a lot of great people on this show.
I'm going to pick this book up. I'm going to go finish this book reading it because I got the advanced copy. I know you do too. And I'm going to wait for when she sends me the revised version. I'm excited. It's a damn good book. It really is. I give it a thumbs up.
One or two.
I give it 2 thumbs up. And I haven't read anything else, but based on this her writing style, it's something that's going to appeal to me. This is the type of book you could probably read in school.
And you didn't want to put it down at all?
No, I did not. And that's saying something when it's on my phone. And you know how hard it is for me to read small stuff on my phone.
Oh, man.
Exactly. But my eyes go in and out, whatnot, if you focus on 2 different things. But this is the type of book that I think you could actually put in schools that you could actually read at high school level for points or whatnot or book reports or whatever you could do.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, she's very talented. Yeah. I think the one thing that made it more clear that she was really we got close to her was the fact that she gave us a little insight to her family. And how she has 2 adopted children and they change names and whatnot. And just the family dynamic thing. And that's impressive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's cool. I love meeting real people and shit like that. Don't you?
Yeah. And who is all this brought to you by?
This is brought to you by Uncanny Comics, our sponsor, located in Rosenberg, Texas, Avenue I. Joseph Gano running Uncanny Comics. Go there and pick up anything you want. He's got it all. Pops, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, comic books, 2 dogs. And a bunch of people sit there around and play. He constantly
and constantly tournaments too.
Yeah, I know. All the time. He's got something going on every night.
He's got Dragon Ball. He's got Yu-Gi-Oh. He's got Pokemon. He's got Magic.
Yeah, there's something going on every freaking night of the week. So there's always tournaments, and there's always giveaways too. And his giveaways are nice because usually it's some kind of card or whatever you could use for your deck, or you win a box of cards. I mean, not like,
or you'll win a game bat.
Yeah, or you don't get like a box, like 3 or 4 cards. No, you're getting like the big box, like the $75, $80 set that you win, and you win that just for playing in the tournament. It costs you maybe $5, $6 just to play in the tournament, but then boom, at the end you win this. And he gives prizes to the top 8 guys. So who does that? I don't see that shit happening down at Bedrock or anywhere else.
No
other comic book store that I know of does that. Yeah. Maybe they do it once during the week on the weekend. He does it every fucking day.
Every week.
Exactly. Every day, every week, 24/7. Yeah. Uncanny Comics is a place you need to go for your gaming needs, and if you just want to hang out with guys, because there is a local following that constantly goes in there, and I've noticed this group getting bigger. I go in there, obviously, get my comics and everything else, and I notice every time I go in there, there's more and more of the same guys in there, and the groups are getting bigger.
Yeah.
So that's impressive. Also, our backup sponsor who helps Uncanny and us, our boys Tank Paintball. Tank's Paintball also located here in Richmond, Texas, outside on Highway 59, a little further away from Rosenberg, but it's not that far, maybe a couple of minutes. So you can actually go shoot some paintballs down at Paint, get a snow cone, enjoy yourself shooting people in the ass, and then come over to Uncanny Comics and relax in the air conditioning and play some games. They're that close to each other. I'm saying maybe 5-7 minutes away from each other.
And then also you can actually play in a tournament with Rudy that works at Tanks.
Exactly. Rudy is there at Tanks all the time, and he's also at Uncanny Comics playing games. He's there. The connection is it's small community time. Rosenberg, Richmond is not small. It's got, 35, 40,000 people?
It's starting to get bigger.
Yeah, it's getting bigger. It's going to eventually attach itself to Sugarland.
Yeah.
Hopefully Houston doesn't annex you guys, and that would suck. But no, Rosenberg is massive, and Richmond is massive, and people are starting to find Uncanny. The dude has events for kids for Reed. He did backpacks stuff giveaway as well, just like our boy G-Eazy did. I'm just saying, the good people, man. We've got good people on the show. Also, don't forget to check out my boy, our other sponsor out there in Japan, Tokyo Munchies, Kyle. Kyle busting that shit real, boy. You know he's got 75 followers on Podbean?
Wow.
That boy legit. And he gives us credit for that. So thank you very much, Kyle. We appreciate all the name drops you do for us, especially calling me the Big Rig Mig Hot Wax and now the Big Mig, whatever ass pace. I don't know what you call it. Like, what the hell are you doing, bro? But anyway, those are our guys. Those are our sponsors. But don't forget, you can catch us on all these radio stations. You can catch us on Beyond the Dawn, who we love so dearly. And thank you so much for your patience with us, with all the hard times been going on with us, and constantly playing us and being a loyal backer of us. Also, no thanks, no fucks given radio, who just loves us for no fucks given reasons. I don't know. And then, of course, WBLZ Media, aka Ironic Radio, the home of the 8-Bit Bros, who carry us with a religion as well, and they show us a lot of love, and we can't say thank you enough to these guys. These 3 radio stations, amazing, amazing people. If you're a podcaster and you're looking for a home to go to, I suggest reaching out to WBLZ Radio, which is aka Iconic Radio, or reach out to the 8-Bit Bros. They can hook you up there. Reach out to Beyond the Dawn, T Dawn, she's out there, or reach out to No Fucks Given, also known the guys as the Unknown Factor. They will hook you up, and you tell them Critical Thinking sent you. And I guarantee you they will work something out for you and get you on the air on the radio spot if you need it. Yeah. And just real quick, WBLZ is looking for podcasters that want to do live shows. So if you want to do a live show, contact them and tell them Critical Thinking sent you, and I guarantee you they'll be happy to talk to you. Again, you can't say good stuff about people like that. That's all.
Definitely. All right, well, that's our show for the...
Yeah, that's it. Wow.
It's a short one. So hopefully Sean can edit this really quick and everything, get that out to y'all really fast and everything. So y'all have a great week.
Yes. And again, if you haven't heard, go back and listen to our previous episode. We have a lot of trash talking with Kevin Goatee from Comics Watching Comics. A great episode.
Yes, it was.
And we out of here.
Later. Hey guys, you can connect with us on iTunes
at Critical Thinking Podcast
and Twitter
at critic_thinking.
And also on Facebook and Instagram
at Critical Thinking Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Critical Thinking is on Beyond the Dawn Radio, which is known for playing the best indie radio music around the world.
On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Central Time.
And if you like the show, please 5-star the episode and tell your friends. So thank you for joining us, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.